This is what white overspray looks like on a brand new polished car. No worries. Guys, welcome back to the channel. So if you missed it, which I know you did, I just got done spraying all the white inside here. Now these come kind of like an off-white. That's not really going to match my roof, so just got done spraying those, had the car all covered with plastic, and of course, we got overspray all over the side of the car. Basically all over the whole car. So, basically I went through with my little Zoda tool here and recompounded the entire car. Just gave her a quick little hand job, and she's good to go. So now we can start the assembly, which is by far my favorite time of a vehicle. So, we're not worried about the hood for right now because we're still going to be working on the motor later on. But let's get the rest of this together. So we're going to go get changed. I'm going to run downstairs, grab some more pieces, and we're going to start slapping some shit on this. Now, as you can see, when I pulled these, I labeled all these. So they're either going to say passenger or D for driver, with an arrow pointing up. So this is our first piece of business. Front trim. Step 2. Man, this is going to go quick for you guys. I can already see I have to adjust this. But we're learning. Alright, so we got step 3 and step 4 going. And before I forget, I did go back and adjust that because I know me, and if I didn't do that now, it was never going to get done. So let's move on to step 4. And step 3, I can't tighten this yet. I got to make sure that it's straight and it lines up completely. So there's just one screw right in the very end. So let's get this on. And that is why we don't tighten shit. So let's do some adjusting. Problem is, if I would have tightened this down, it would have marred up the paint around here. So there's just one screw that goes in the end. That shouldn't hurt anything. Hopefully. We jumped ahead and we took care of step 5. And step 6, I'm thinking that the window trim goes on first. So I gotta remember, I don't remember if this went in a certain order. So let me go get some trim and see where we're at. All right, next morning here and moving right along. Not in the direction that we want. Originally, I wanted to start back here, but I lost the custom brackets that I made for this. I have no idea where they're at. So rather than get all this window trim on, starting from the back to the front, we're going to start in the front. So first thing we did was we threw on this cowl piece. We have to throw on the center connection here. And then we're going to get this lower trim on. Now, the lower trim, you got the one little nut. That's all you really got to worry about. This kind of just falls into place. So we're going to drop that right there. We're going to drop the other piece, and then we're going to put the connector in the middle. And then we're going to go onto the car, and we're going to screw these in. So that's really nothing too exciting. So see? Got that lower trim on. We have this little bracket. This little bracket will fall right there. We'll screw that in and then we'll clip it. So let me get that done. All right, forget what I said. Don't mount that little center section. As it turns out, this piece has got to go in next. So this piece just slides up and right over the top of this. Now there is a bracket here for a screw. I didn't have it. Might as well drop one in there. But it looks like after this piece is in, we're going to have to slide that into there and then slide that into there. So I'm going to disconnect that screw. I'm going to get all this set. And then we're going to, once everything's in place, then we'll go underneath and we'll tighten these little 3/8 here. So let me start doing that and see how this works out. So originally I did not have screws, but I do now. So what we're going to do now is We're going to slide this end into here while trying not to scratch anything and then getting the bolt down into there. So let's see if this works out. Oh, this should be easy. Alright, so we're going to do that to both sides. Then we're going to mount the center. And then that'll suck everything down. Theoretically, ideally, hopefully. Alright, now that we got that back in place, well, we can take it off. Because apparently, this little clip, you got to put it on and slide it one way, then put the screw on and slide it back. Because there's no way to get this on here now. So, let me try that.
Everybody knows you never go full retard.
All right, that was a little tricky. Those little tab underneath that I had to kind of bend out, but it went on. So now the last thing for me to do is just go underneath and tighten up the little 3/8 nuts, and that should pull all this down. And the front window trim will be done. Then we'll start going back from the doors. Now, I know the cat's eyes aren't for everybody, but I ain't mad at it. So, unfortunately, over on this side, I am missing the clip that goes on the side and the top. Now, I am sure that I have them somewhere. They got to be in a bag, all taped up and labeled, along with my rear clips somewhere. So, I'm just going to keep grabbing parts. Eventually, they got to show up down in my basement. So, let's keep on going. Alright, so while I'm still looking for my missing bag of parts, we're going to throw the passenger vent window in. Hopefully, I have all the parts in there. So this doesn't look hard. I got it out. I should be able to get it back in. I think this just kind of slides down into here. And there is a little screw at the bottom that you're going to have to play with. But, alright, screws in. Alright, so we just have a couple screws up top. Oh, man. You guys weren't watching me. So we're going to have 2 screws up top. We're going to have 1 little screw in there. And then the regulator. And then that one down there. So let me get these in and see if we get it operating. Alright, dealing with the window regulator. I found the easiest thing to do is put these 2 top screws in before anything else. I'm saying that because I had it all connected and then I had to take it out. So you slide the regulator up into the window itself, and then you're going to have 4 of these big Phillips head screws. If you look at these, you have ones with small washers and ones with bigger washers. The bigger washers do not go in the top of this. The small ones do. And if you put a big washer in, you'll see why. So I'm going to get this all together now and see if it works. So we have her all tightened up. Let's see if she works. Always make sure that's unclipped. Which way? Oh yeah, she's opening. All right, so now that we have it all hooked up, I think we have to take it apart. For some reason, I think I had to take this out to get the window out. I think I'm gonna go back through my past videos, see if I screwed up the order of this. Look what came in the mail today. Remember that little burn through I had? Whew. Covers that right up. Moving on. Well, we definitely messed up by putting the vent window in, but we're going to jump over to the driver's side now before we pull that out. First thing we're going to want is the window felt. Now, you see I had this labeled D-top, and I think there was only 1 screw holding this whole thing in. I don't see any other holes, so I'm going to go pop this in place. This is nothing really special. And then we're going to get the glass, which I just went and grabbed. Driver's side is good, and everything is operational. I'm not happy with this sticking out so far. I'm gonna have to drop a screw back there to hold that in place, but other than that, this side looks good. Now, I don't expect any of you guys to remember, but when I got this car, the passenger window was shattered, so I did have to buy new glass and tint it. I'm not really sure how well the tint's going to look, but that's regardless. I did have to buy a brand new rail because there wasn't one in there. So, this thing is considerably wider than the glass itself. I don't know if there's a gasket or anything. I looked at the other one, and it was basically just RTV'd in. So, I'm going to take this in the vise here. We're going to crunch this down a little bit so it fits a little snugger around the glass, and fill it with RTV and put the glass in there. It sounds good. I completely forgot to mention, I found a bag with a bunch of stuff in it, and the rear driver door trim is in there. So those are the little pieces I need to put these on to do the back trim. So we're rolling today. We are rolling. So obviously we went through and we crunched her down. You can see it's no longer flat. So I also went through, I cleaned this, I cleaned the glass. I mean, just right here where I'm going to be using the adhesive. We're just going to be using Permatex Ultra Black. We're going to fill up this channel and stick it on there. Now this is probably going to take a good hour or so to fully cure, which will give me time to get this off, get the glass in there, get it set to where it wants to be, put everything back together, and then I'll roll the window up and just let it cure. So let's get going. All right, now remember I told you that I did not have this rail? Well, getting ready to install it, and I found this. I found that piece, and I found that piece. So that's all the glass is riding on, which is probably why it sucked so much to roll up this window. Probably why it broke also. So while this is still curing, let's get this window in. I just could not help myself. I had to throw on that little emblem. Now I'm sure a couple people are thinking, that's not a Belair, that's a 210. And I don't think the 210s come with these doors with all these holes in them for all the trim anyway. But people might think that because there's no little flag here. Now normally on a Belair you got a little flag there. But if you look inside, you can see the JB Weld where the previous owner filled in all those holes. Because when I got this, there was no trim whatsoever on it. So yeah, it's a Belair. And in the meantime, just so I don't get ahead of myself, I think I'm going to whack out the other side and just get all this trim on. So let's get started. Pretty happy about that. Got everything all cleared off, and finally the driver's side, with the exception of the headlight, is now caught up to the passenger side. So let's go downstairs and get some more parts. Guess we're gonna be going with all the trim around the windows. All right, so I'm about to call it a day, but I still have 5 little pieces of trim to put on. Now, it looks a lot easier than it is. So we're gonna start easy, and we're gonna get hard as we go. That sounded really bad. All right, we're gonna start with the easiest one, the bottom. All right, you got a screw inside there and a screw inside there. We'll circle back to that. Then we're going to go to the top. This one's a little trickier. I shouldn't say trickier. You just got these little tabs that you got to get underneath. and try not to scratch it as you go. Come on, get in there. Yeah, like I said, try not to scratch it, just like that. So this, I gotta pull this up into place and then screw on each side and then a bunch in the middle. So that'll do the door. So I went back and I put all the screws on the insides of all these, which there's not really a lot. There's a lot in the top, but they're easy. So next up, we're gonna have the bottom back here. We have one nut and bolt that goes right into there. And then just on the inside, we have 2 screws. Now, I don't know where this felt is. I don't think this car came with any, to be honest with you. So I'm gonna have to do something about the glass, but in the meantime, let's get this popped into place. Oh, that popped. All right, and that's in. Now we got to just go through and right up inside that hole there, we can access that nut, and then just a couple of little screws. So I'm gonna get this set, and then we're gonna tackle the big one. All right, from what I remember, this was the tough one because we have all these big compression clips, and then we still have this lower edge to deal with. So let's see if we can do this without scratching anything.
I don't really know what comes next. I'm just doing my best, even though I'm so stressed out. Everything just feels like a test that I fail, so depressed when I can't seem to get out. But something deep inside won't let me quit. I swear that I'm inspired by all this shit. Tell me that I can and I won't. That's what guides me the most. Your lies, I'll do what I want. I'm inspired by thirst.
Done. Now you just gotta go inside, bend those little clips up that you can see right here, or I don't know if you can see them or not, but bend the clips up and screw them in. So I'm gonna jump on that. All right, last piece of the night, and I'm hoping this ties it all together. So you want to start with the top. There, and there. Now we're getting the idea. So let me get this all leveled out and we'll take a little walk. All right, so off camera, I went through. I put the rear glass in, both sides. Stupid shit. You know, I did the weather stripping and whatnot. I wasn't even going to record any of this, but it's just so pathetic that just went to mount the mirrors. And after struggling to get this up in here with nuts and bolts, which is not easy, yeah, I put it on backwards. See, there's the hole. And there's the hole. And, yeah, that's not gonna work.
Are you fucking retarded? The hell's the matter with you?
Yeah, so I'm gonna get my head out of my ass. I'm gonna put this on the right way and we're gonna get some mirrors on this car. All right, so my 19, I think these are like 68 Camaro mirrors. I just kind of like the little Chevy emblem on them. They're all done, and not gonna lie, that is probably the worst possible spot I could have put a mirror. But hey, I'll make do. But other than that, I think that's gonna wrap up this video for just all the outside trim. Now there are a couple little stupid things, like I gotta throw the top on here and then these get screwed in there, but hey, that's no big deal. Not worth recording. Oh, let's give it a test. Make sure the mirror doesn't fall off. I'm happy. So guys, for this video on the outside of the car, that's gonna do it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and get off the couch and get in the garage. On a little side note, if you happen to have a tubbed 55 Chevy and the previous owner happened to cut off the pivot points for the rear windows and they're just kind of floating there, well, we're going to take ourselves a tennis ball and we're just going to jam her up underneath there, and hopefully the window doesn't fall down. Look at that. Perfect.